32, 32, lower than forecast 36. Business inventories 0%, 0% as expected.
All right, we got some news dropping, making new highs on the regular trading hours here. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. We are still trading in a range that has been created. It's a fairly large range, 70 point, 80 point range. It's been trading since pretty much Asia last night. So very careful about trying to buy any strength as we have not accepted outside of this value area that's been established. So this 130 area is going to be real key on NQ. So be careful with your longs here. I want to take some profit. We'll see if we can break into higher territory, but as of now, we're still trading in balance. Morning, Mike. Morning, JJ. Eric, JP. Good morning, guys.
To discuss the Middle East.
Forecast, Andy, Bob Burner, Bro, D-Bomb, Eric, Chuck, good morning, Ghostface Killer, Gary. Got Gary this morning. We got two Garys, Grinch, JP, JJ, Jordal, Karn, Laura, Logger, Michael, Mike, Norm, Sean, Yvette. We got full house this morning. Zalos. Full house. Let's see what type of opportunities we get this morning. Very careful with longs here, guys. That looks like a rejection off of weekly VWAP. We're at upper band, and there's, if you look at the composite here, we have a huge volume, low volume node on the composite that we need to get to where we accept higher prices. So careful with your longs up here. I'm not currently in a trade. Gary, been snowed under. Sorry to hear, man. Well, the market doesn't go anywhere. That's the good news. It's always here. No matter what happens in our real life, if we have to take a little break, the market is still here. It never goes anywhere. So don't ever feel like you're missing anything. Okay. Let me get YouTube going here, and we'll see what type of opportunities we get, guys. I'm not in a rush to take a trade here. I already took some really nice trades. I took a long out of the open right at 9:30. It looked very bullish to me. And I actually hit profit target on my top one in that opening drive. So I'm locked out of top one for today. And I hit 713 profit in this account, locked it out. Great trade. Let me get YouTube going here real quick. And I'll talk about what else. What other trades we took. Yeah, it looked real bullish, guys. It looked bullish on the higher time frame. Right? We had a distribution formed. We had put in a kind of a double bottom here, held. We had this kind of like rounding bottom form, and it's still forming, still bullish. And went long off of the open break of VWAP. I took profits right into upper band. It was a beautiful trade. All right. Let me get this going here for the YouTube peoples. Okay. I also took some trades in my top ones. I'm up $570 across my 5 top steps. I took a long off of lower band here, which has been the trade for the last couple of weeks. Big sell off to lower band, and that was like the best buy point. I took the bounce, got out, and then I took another trade on the break of VWAP back up to upper band. So a couple of really nice trades I'm really happy with. So strong morning so far. I'm looking to take these 5 XFAs to 1,000K each in profits today. So this is what I'll be trading next or continuing to trade. I'm done with my top one. And then I'll move to cash if I hit my profit target in this account. So very wide rotations here, guys. Very easy to get offsides in this type of volatility, where it's kind of these big rotations up and down. So be careful. Very easy to get cut off sides on this when we're rotating in balance like this. So, you want to be fading value area extremes in a balanced market like this. You diddle in the middle, easily caught off sides, unless you're in the direction of the higher time frame, which is bullish. The market might be down, but we are holding above point of control. And it looks like we want to retest this low volume node up here. But until we make a lower high here on the higher time frame, I'm still bullish. Now we did reject at the weekly VWAP and upper band and the top of this distribution, right? So I want to wait and see what happens. I'm not in a rush. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I have all day, so I don't need to force anything. Already took some nice trades, so let's see what we get. And I don't have tick strike up. Amazing. There we go. Cumulative delta is very bullish here, guys. Seems like a lot of it's being absorbed so far. I don't know if I like that, actually. I'm going to wait. I don't see any great signals here or setups. So I'm going to wait. See what type of good setups we do get. Yeah, Chuck, I started with, Chuck says, I didn't give myself enough room for stop at lower band, had the right idea. Yep. And that's been a trade we've had a bunch of times over the past couple of weeks, especially in the morning. We got a big sell-off to lower band, and that was like the low of day. So this has always been a huge opportunity to buy down here. I bought one contract at lower band, which is relatively small size for me. So I had room, and I added a second down here around 2030. So I had two contracts and pretty much covered on the reclaim of lower band. Two minis. So let's see what we get, guys. I think we'll get some good opportunity today. Nice volatility. We just got to be patient and wait for good setups. All right, so, that's not really a trade here, guys, even though it did bounce at VWAP. Theoretically, that could be your advanced playbook, VWAP scalp. Not ideal, not a great setup. So the only setup we have here is a fade value area extremes, but I don't really want to fade the bullish nature of this drive right here. So I'm not going to fade that. Hope everybody's doing well on YouTube this morning. Thanks for joining us. We trade every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless the market's closed. We trade the VWAP Wave system. My book is coming out in about a week. Very excited to drop that book. It'll be available on Kindle. Pradeep, we are watching, right now we're watching NQ. We have an eye on gold. Nice setup on gold there. Lower band and value area extreme on the session. Also held lower band on the week right there. So that was a nice long on gold. So what happens here, guys, is if we can break and hold above this value area here, this 130 point is going to be probably some resistance. Very low volume area. on NQ. So if I'm going to make an area to watch for at least a quick short, it's going to look like this. Right up here. All right, that's my zone based on this low volume node. Kind of took a little swath of it, right? And we'll see if we get up there. Now you could try and take a long here, but still looking very much like a balanced market, even though we do have a nice rally here from pretty much 45 to now. So the last 25 minutes or so. Here you go, JJ. All right, like I said, that's bullish right there. Very careful. Now, since this is a contrarian trade, right? We are clearly in a bit of a market rally here. I have to be careful of this shorting this level. At one point, I have to know my out. I have to know my out. At what point am I wrong? So I'm going to try and get short a little bit over 125 to 135. Not looking for a huge move. Okay, we're getting close to my area now. I would like to see some type of capitulation candle up here, or a high volume climax. Give myself a little bit of a opportunity to get some confirmation here. Cumulative delta is very strong. I see that longer. You are right. But this is also a very low volume node on NQ. For I know that could have been the spot, right? It went right to my level here. There's going to be sellers here. I promise you. Haven't taken a short yet. I would like to get a little bit of a better price. Okay. Yep, I do see that, but we also have monthly upper band right above here. 43.5. Next push, I'm going to take a contract. Just one. Nice little trade there. So I caught you know, maybe 10 points almost. Almost top tick that. I'm already out. Just took the scalp. Quick $150 on one mini. If we do it again, I'm gonna do it again. I like this area. That could be it. I'm up 672. My top steps. Do you have a bit of a short here? Just take it. Just scalps. Scalping off that level as sellers try and push it down. Nothing crazy. 734 across 5 accounts. I'll be right back. I'm not doing it anymore. That's it. Oh man, look at that. What a great idea that was. I should have held on to it. Did I nail that area or what? Look at that. Look at my chart. Right to my line, right to my level. Oh well. That would have been a great, if I would have just held that, man. So you guys might be asking, you know, what setup is that? You know, well, it's not one of the 4 core setups. If you take the course, I have the advanced playbook in a module 5. There's 4 additional setups. And this is the higher time frame value area, fade value area extreme. So we take the composite or a higher time frame like I have over here on the hourly, right? We can see our clear distributions here. right? And on the higher time frame, it was a short of this low volume area or the value area high of this distribution that we'd formed. That was the setup. It was a setup. Looks like they might try and push it through again. Nice, LJ. LJ held it. I don't know if that's a top. I think it was just a localized top. You know, just looking for the pullback. That is not, I'm not looking for a big move on that to begin with. But it did have a decent pullback. You can make a lot of money just on a quick one trade on NQ. 30 points, man. It's 120 ticks. Some good money. All right, so I'm not gonna short that area again. All right, that was the opportunity has sailed. I might think they would try and push it through this level on the second touch. Morning, Dean. So I'm gonna be patient, right? Maybe we form another distribution here. Maybe we go back to value down here, or we push up and then we look for another value area to establish. So that's what we're watching on NQ. ES has a very similar chart. Gold, still holding lower band here, but it's definitely having a descending pattern to it, kind of the exact opposite of what's going on in the indexes. So we'll see what happens there. So for all you NQ traders out there, those of you who love trading NQ, this is a hourly, Chris. This is an hourly. This is a 5-minute. This is a daily down here. And this is a 30-minute. So for you NQ lovers, check out this freaking awesome t-shirt I made. NQ Addicts. You can buy these. So in full transparency, I make like no money if you buy this. Seriously, I get like $1. So I'm just doing this for fun. I think it's cool. I bought myself one. So if you guys like this, I'll drop a link in the thing. I literally make almost no money. So I'm not like trying to sell you guys shit for me to make money. This is literally just for fun. So I make like $1. No joke. It's almost a joke. It's almost a joke they pay me $1. So this is TradingView. This is TradingView, Chris. $1 is $1. Dollar doesn't go very far though, Lager. I'll tell you what. My power bill was almost $300 this month from just putting air conditioning in this Florida house. Crazy. Insurance is brutal. You guys want to know what I pay? And yeah, I have it. I have homeowners insurance. I have to. My house is mortgaged. You have to have a insurance if you have a mortgage. $7,000 a year for insurance. 7,000. Yep, no joke. Yeah, come to Florida, they said. Look how we're holding this 50% extension. Yeah, $7,000 on and just on insurance. Then of course there's property taxes and man, that was the top, huh? I'm not in a flood area. No, I'm not. All right. Well, is this by the upper band. Because we have a little volume, low volume area here. This looks like it could be a little bit of a long spot, but maybe we wait for some confirmation. Cumulative delta selling off. There's nothing, you know, still looks bearish, man. Did I call that top or what? Ugh, wish I would have held it. That's something I hate saying. I wish I would have held it. I mean, it's a valid trade. You know, we don't have a great trend yet, right? The VWAP is barely sloped. Let's drop a RTH VWAP. Let's see what we got there. Yeah, I don't know. The better long might be down here, this area. We got there. Get the VWAP bounce. Yeah, perfect. Great logger. Yeah, man. I mean, that's what I want. That's obviously the whole point of all of this, is so that you guys can learn to see these things on your own. So, you know, I don't fancy myself as a signal service, nor do I want to. I'm an educator and teacher. I teach you guys how to do this on your own. LJ Biz says, I bet that AC condensation makes its own lake with all that humidity. Yeah, I have a great drainage system though. I actually have a tool because it's so hot. You know, those condensation lines get all plugged up with like gunk. I'm getting a little bit of a bounce here. Might take a little long. We have a clear risk point here. It's like we're putting a little localized bottom on the CVD. Just a quick scalp to upper band here, guys. Nothing crazy. But I did see some buyers step in on tick strike. Cumulative delta has a little bit of a rounding on the 2-minute. So a little bit of confirmation of buyers there. Will they stick around? I don't know. This still kind of looks like a back. It could be a back test. So. Oh, so I was saying with the drainage lines, I have a tool. It's like a compressor, so I can blow all that stuff out of my drainage line because it gets clogged with all the gunk. Fritz, yeah, absolutely. Your son, if your son is able to wrap his head around these concepts, absolutely. I would say probably the youngest age is 14, but we tend to think, you know, we're older, so this stuff makes a lot more sense than somebody who's 15. My son is 13 and he's very smart. He's in like a, you know, a gifted accelerated program at school. He's very smart. He still struggles a lot with these concepts. So maybe 15 would be okay. And if he's got to be interested. That's the main part. If he's interested, he'll probably take to it. My 13-year-old is more interested in playing Fortnite at the moment. This is NQ, correct. And we're also watching gold. All right, we got kind of a descent. We just broke lower band on gold. Probably on our way to monthly VWAP at this point. Next stop, 96. Maybe this lower extension. But if we can recover this, we might go back up to. Yeah, Chuck. I mean, when I was 15, the only thing I cared about at 15 was listening to music, girls, and hanging out with my friends. That's all I cared about. And video games. I did love video games. Fritz, I'd put him through the normal channels. You got to put him through the free Discord. There's a ton of free material. All right. See how he does with that before he contacts me directly. I generally work with people one-on-one in a mentorship capacity. But you should assist him in the learning, Fritz. You should be his mentor, not me. You learn from me and then you teach him. Whoa. Gold just had a hell of a wick there. Harry asks, what platform do you suggest trading personal account? Well, it depends on where you're located. Harry, where are you located? Certain platforms aren't available everywhere.
Of EU securitization laws for banks to revive markets, have free bank capital, and boost lending to the economy.
I'm only 160 bucks away from profit target in these top steps for today. Just grinding it out. One little scalp at a time. 93% win rate. That's a good time, huh? 26 lots traded, 93.5% win rate. It looks like these pops are being sold here, guys. This looks weak. So I'd be careful if you're long off of upper band. It seems to be holding, but it's not. Just mind your position here. The world was a different place then, wasn't it? Yes. When rebounding, I generally like to say I won't always take first touch on upper band. I do like to see some type of confirmation. Price discovery continuation is not my favorite first touch trade, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. I generally prefer to see some type of confirmation strength coming in that direction. I'm not a huge fan of trading in that on first touch. VWAP Bounce, love first touch. Fade value Eric Stream, also a better first touch trade. So interesting on the daily, right? I have this low volume level marked off. It seems like we've held.
To Mexico's President Sheinbaum and Trump meeting can happen another time. This is after Trump has left the G7 on short notice last night.
We can get a bigger rotation down though. So I'm going to watch this area, this 273 to 284. It's about a 10-point zone. We have point of control, regular trading hours VWAP, and session VWAP all in this 10-point area. So probably a good spot to look for a quick scalp long. If we get there. I don't know if we'll get there. We will see. I'll be right back.
keeping an eye on the markets, just noting the dollar extending gains here, Dixie up around 0.33% now. Against the yen, it's up 0.3% at around 145.1 per yen.
Okay. Did I miss it? That's what I get for stepping away. Damn it. I did catch a little scalp there, but not as nice as it would have been had I been sitting here. God damn. Ugh. Good 40 tick bounce there. Caught it. RTH, VWAP, endpoint of control, and the IB mid. All within 3 points of each other. 5 points of each other. Yeah, better on NQ. I agree. Way better on NQ, actually. Okay, that trade's over. Damn, didn't get filled. Damn. Ugh. I didn't get filled by like a tick. I was trying to buy in the bid. Well, the good news is I'm only like 90 bucks away from hitting my profit target, so. Man, that was a great spot to buy. I hope you guys grab that. North Carolina? Oh, I would suggest Trade of 8, Ninja Trader. Harry. Edward, they do work on, these concepts do work on CFDs, but you need reliable volume data. So I suggest watching the actual futures data, and then you can trade the CFDs.
Chancellor Mertz says
Pro trader equals catheter bag. The book is coming, literally, it's with Amazon right now for approval. So it could be in the next couple of days. Usually it takes about 3 business days. So, and I submitted everything yesterday. So I'm thinking by the end of the week, it will be available. So there'll be a Kindle version, an ebook. It's only 10 bucks, the Kindle. The paperback's 20 bucks, and the hardcover is going to be 35. Again, nothing crazy. 10 bucks if you want for the ebook version. Yeah, it could be a back test. I mean, this channel is still in structurally in line here. Right back to RTH VWAP. Do we buy that again? I don't know, man. I might wait for the next leg down, get a better price for a scalp. I do not like taking the same trade over and over again because that's how I get burnt. Go back to the well one too many times. I don't want to get caught in the massive flush either. I'd rather buy after the massive flush. Catch the rebound. All right, point of control. Right there, no. Right to IB mid again. This area is very strong. We knew it would be. That's why I marked it, obviously. And just using our regular tools, VWAP, volume profile. I don't know if I want to buy a session VWAP, but it's also value area low at 70. So it might be a good, if we get a nice flush through here, I'll pick up maybe lower than VWAP. Just feel like there's a lot of buyers here. Yes. Okay, that put me at profit target across those 5 accounts. 1,050 bucks. 91% win rate. Thing of beauty right there. This is where you can't assume the flush, Chuck. You can't assume it. You gotta assume that our levels will hold. Look at that. Oof, that was a beautiful long. 15 points in seconds. These are our levels. This whole zone has held so far. So it's going to keep holding until it shows otherwise. The shorts are down here. ACH. Ah, got it. Anything could happen. All right, well, I'm going to lock myself out of these, and then I'll switch to my cash account here. So I'm going to turn off my copy trading. And then I go one at a time, log out of these. Can't trade them again if I want to. Can't trade them again if I want to. No temptation because I can't. All right, almost $3,600 in profit across these 5 XFAs in 3 days. My top one is at $8,200 in profit. I have to get to 63 for my next payout. It's another 5 grand. All right, slowly but surely, one day at a time, we'll get there, just like I did last time. Edward asks, how long have I been doing this for? So, I started day trading when I was in my 20s, back in 2010. I started with a prop firm in Boca Raton, Florida. And it was a big room filled with a bunch of guys, and you had to come with your own risk capital. It was like 5 grand. And they gave you an account to trade of like $50,000. They give you a desk, they gave you strategies, and it was awesome. It was like my first experience ever day trading. And I didn't make any money. I didn't really lose any money, but I didn't really make any money either. I kind of was just spinning my wheels. But it was awesome. It kind of showed me what was possible. And then I went on to starting a business outside of finance, and I did really, really well. And I got back into things, maybe about 6 years ago. So it's been years. I wasn't profitable my first year. In fact, I wasn't profitable my second year. Third year, I broke even. And fourth year, I was starting to make some good money. Now, I didn't have the level of education available to me that's available today. If I could only do things different, I'd probably be, I'd have $100 million stashed away right now. I do have quite a bit of money stashed away, but nothing like what I think I could have done if I had stuck with it since then and I had the type of education that was available today. Okay. So JP's asking where the gray zones come from. All right, so this gray zone up here, and if you notice, these gray zones have been pretty much the localized high and low so far of the market. Kind of brilliant, huh? So the high right here is this low volume node on the composite volume profile. It's anchored to yesterday's open, Sunday's open, 6 o'clock. This entire volume profile from then to now, and it's this low volume node. Right? So I was expecting that to be a localized high, this big low volume node between these two huge distributions. You see I marked it with an arrow, and then I put it on this chart. The gray area down here is I saw the point of control is moved, but the regular trading hours VWAP, the IB mid, the point of control, and the session VWAP were all in like this 10-point range. So I highlighted it. I knew there would be a lot of buyers in this zone because of it. That's essentially where they came from.
According to witnesses, hear a siren sound in Tel Aviv once again.
All right, I'm going to move over to my cash account, guys.
The Germany Chancellor Merz says if Iran does not back down, then complete destruction of the Iranian nuclear program is on the agenda, which Israel cannot achieve alone.
That was a fade value area extreme off of the regular trading hours upper band so far. Eric said, scalp my way to 240 bucks across 8 eval accounts, inching my way to approval. Awesome. That's a great job. Looks like we might get a little bit of a continuing downside here. I might take a little start of a position here. Oh, I didn't get filled, and I'm glad I didn't because it looks like buyers just stepped in. So I'm going to hold off.
Councillor Mertz says Trump has assured me he will attend the upcoming NATO summit.
All right. So, on the higher time frame, guys, this is still awfully bullish, right? We have had this was a deep pullback, but that's essentially a higher low so far. Wait for something good to happen. Yeah, I mean, essentially it's been in balance since since last night. If you look at the hourly, we've put together a pretty defined distribution here, and we're still trading in it, right? And it's 106 to 115 point distribution, value area high to value area low. And we're almost smack in the middle of it. So technically, on the hourly, we're in balance. We're also in the deviation bands on the session and regular trading hours. We're within weekly VWAP. So the only places we're really in price discovery is on the monthly VWAP and on the daily. Everywhere else, we're in balance. We did have a little bit of attempt at price discovery up here, but we rejected at this low volume node. So remember, we can be in price discovery on one time frame, and we can be in balance on another. Because price time frames are fractal. So we're in price discovery on the daily chart. We are in balance on the intraday chart. On the monthly here, we are in price discovery. So everything's different. When they all align, that's when we get A+ conditions. Oh, JP, that's cool. I'm just looking at your watermark. No name, no trade. Price discovery continuation, VWAP bounce, paid value stream, return to value. Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, lower band wash would be nice, wouldn't it? I think there's a lot to get through to get to lower band. We also have this value area low right here at 70. We have lower band on the regular trading hours at 66. We have we have just a ton of stuff before we get to lower band.
It's been 10 minutes time now. That's 11:05.
Where I think buyers might step in. We might not get there.
We'd be speaking in...
Or we could do what we did yesterday. Oops. So yesterday, right, we had this. Let's go to the 5 minute. Right, we rallied till 11:20. Well, not so much in ES, but on NQ, but on ES, we rallied to 10:30, and then we just sold off slowly all day. But we never got to lower band, did we? The story is in the volume profile. Okay, back to regular trading hours, point of control, and VWAP. Could not find my setup on the tools area, really. Let's take a look. So if we go to, let me make this bigger. We go down to tools. This is them right here. See that? That's the 5 minute. That's this one. This is the multi-time frame. That help, bro? Bro, that help? Maybe they have changed. I can update them. Here, take these. Here's this. And then well, these indicators are not going to come through. You have to buy these indicators, unfortunately. But the this one this quad chart should come through just fine. Nice Karn. Maybe you should shut it down there, eh? Sometimes just getting out of a big drawdown is a win in of itself. Amo says, do I think gold will drop more? At the moment, no. It looks like we're back in value. That could be a localized bottom there. And we're back in initial balance. Here we're at point of control VWAP. You know, if we get above this, we could have much more upside. So far, this could be I think it has more downside, but we have to recover this area first. Okay, so looks like we want to melt through VWAP here. This is value area low as well. Looks heavy here. I think the better trade, guys, is the
bills on June 18th, settling on June 24th.
What is that?
UK's PM Starmer says Trump didn't suggest that he'll join the Israel-Iran war. There's no doubt that Trump will stay out of the conflict. So again, that's Starmer there saying there's no doubt that Trump will stay out of the Israel-Iran conflict.
Bit of a long there. Look at that. I take that. Oh, where does I cover it? Nice little long off of VWAP, value area low there. So now the kind of the new supply area is there.
Yeah.
Robin, I've taken a lot of trades today. Let's do a quick recap. I'm up $713 in my top one account, up over $8,000 in my account balance here in profits. My top steps, I'm at $1,050 times 5 accounts, so over $5,000 in profits. Then my XFAs, my funded accounts, for a almost $3,600 balance in each on day 3 of trading these. I just started trading my cash account. Took one trade for like 90 bucks. That's where we're at. Gold back in initial balance, point of control. This is kind of our chop area. I think one way or the other, if we start trading out of this range, we might see more upside or downside. This is kind of the diddle in the middle right here. So above 407 looks good long. Below 400, we could see more downside on gold. Robin, I don't have a set point per trade. I trade what the market essentially gives me based on the setup. So it's stagnant. I don't use static profit targets or stops. I use the chart. So if I'm going long here, I would try and get to upper band. That's 12 points. If I was going for a small scalp short here, this would only be about like 5 points. So it's always different. I use the chart. It's not a set amount of points. Sometimes the trades are bigger, sometimes they're smaller. I take what the market gives me.
We're shortly expecting comments from ECB's VWAP. He's speaking in London.
Nice, Carlos. Up 320 in his combine. Let's go. What's the news tomorrow? The news tomorrow is jobless claims at 8:30. Housing starts at 8:30. Jobless claims, building permits, crude inventories, FOMC summary of economic projections, FOMC rate statement. Yeah, there's a lot of shit tomorrow, guys, actually. A lot of shit. And then we have off Thursday. No trading Thursday. I mean, you could trade. I'm not trading. You may trade. I don't trade on holidays. I don't like the illiquidity or the low volume. It's not conducive. I'm going to take my wife to breakfast, go to the beach, and enjoy life a little bit, Thursday is in the United States, it's Juneteenth, which is like a civil rights holiday here in the United States. It's a relatively new holiday. I mean, it's been around a long time. It's a new federal holiday. It's essentially when African Americans got freedom in the United States. And I think it was this, June 17th, 19th. Looks like we want higher, doesn't it? But I mean, we're still in balance. Still haven't been able to break above upper band on the regular trading hours since 10:30, not even 10:20. So it's been almost an hour trading in balance here, guys. Right here. So this is more of a fade value or extreme market. Right, we got our fade value or extreme up here. We got a fade value or extreme down here that aligned with VWAP. So not really looking for big moves here. Last couple of days trading have been relatively low stress. It's been nice.
ECB's Villeroy in a favourable position, nearly at 2% target. ECB Villeroy, interest rate policy uncertainty increases after Iran-Israel conflict. ECB's Villeroy, be flexible, practical. ECB's Villeroy, quick reaction recommended.
I don't know what's going to happen with all this Middle East stuff, though. It's kind of crazy the market's going up on it. You know, it sounds like there's like, you know, the United States is about to join this war. Nuts. You'd think this would be like really negative news, but like market don't care, man.
ECB Villeroy, analyze Euro.
All right, we're back at value area high. We're breaking above upper band, but you know, not a great place to go long. You're buying into value area high. We're not far from this low volume node. It's just not a great spot. This is a better short up here, but like I don't want to short here. You know, it could run another freaking 80 ticks. So not really any good trades here, guys. There's kind of like a big gap between the volume profile and the higher time frame volume profile and the intraday setup here. So it's kind of tough to trade. Nice, Eric. Go take your walk.
Good position, almost at 2% target. React quickly if needed. Analyzing euro rate in policy decision. Consideration of effects of oil price is important.
Why is it the 15-minute, Chuck? It's also the 5-minute opening range high. Or the 30-second opening range high. This is the 2-minute opening range high. We hit 109 within 2 minutes of opening. Yeah, this looks like they're trying to grind through this level, guys. I'd be real careful with shorts here. Not a fan. We might try and close this gap at this point. I'll be right back. All right, we're right back up to our supply area. That low volume node. Do they try and push it through again? This is also second standard deviation band right here.
ECB's Villeroy should also consider impact of oil price effects. Boeing shares rise to session peak after eliminating drop.
And about this is NQ. I trade both ES and Q. Right now I'm trading NQ. Both ES and NQ have been trading fairly cleanly today, which is nice. So both instruments would be just fine. But I go back and forth between ES and NQ all the time. If anything, we're at a short here on NQ, but I don't like to take the second attempt here. I think they can try and push it through this level. But for me, this is a short until it proves otherwise. It's a short until we break above IB high and hold.
Financial Times event in London.
But I wouldn't take this short at this point. I already took the short here.
Financial integration timelines aligned.
And as many people know who trade with me, I'm not a huge fan of taking the same trade twice. It's like they're trying to push it through. We got to get through IB high. Now, if we hold above here, we could have a nice bullish move. It would be a long. So you can take the break, and then you can put your stop, you know, which is not ideal. It broke it by like a couple of ticks. Look at that. That would have been a great short. Look at that. Wish I took that. Quick 40 ticks in like 30 seconds. Still going. Like I said, it's a short until it proves otherwise. Till it breaks and holds above here. This is a short. And not just breaks through with like a one candle, right? It's got to hold up here. It's got to show acceptance, either time or distance.
ECB Villeroy, Europe requires deeper, more liquid, more integrated
Look at that. Look at that. Miss that shit. Balanced market conditions. Right back to regular trading hours and point of control there. A lot of sellers stepped in there, man. That would have been so pretty. But I followed my rules. Not taking the same trade twice. Lager, I dream about that stuff. Lager says, if we could only see into the future for 1 minute. I dream about that stuff, Lager. I dream about having like the chart for the day just handed to me. Like, oh, this is what's going to happen today. Here's the chart. Getting the chart ahead of time. I wouldn't be surprised if we go lower, but also wouldn't be surprised if that was just a flush before they rip it through that level, soak in a bunch of shorts, shake out the weak longs, and then rip it. Failed breakdown. Back up to value area high here. But the buying that has stepped in here is kind of insignificant compared to how many sellers stepped in there. So we'll see what happens. You could see a big divergence here on the cumulative delta on NQ. Actually,
Canada's PM Carney says that Canada will impose a new round of financial sanctions against Russia.
back down we go. Still at upper band here.
Canada's PM Carney says that Canada will sanction over
No,
40
looks like it
entities in
held.
Russia.
Robin, I use cumulative delta. And I have a video on that. So just check my videos. Cumulative delta. Robin asks, how long does it take for most of your students to become profitable? There's really no answer for that, unfortunately. Some do really well right away. Some take longer. Everybody's so different. Some never become profitable because they are battling with themselves. It's not a guarantee. So everybody's different. Yeah, pretty much as long as it takes. I don't use time and sales because time and sales is really crazy on futures. It's just so much data. So I use tick strike, right? So that's this ES, NQ, VIX, tick. This is the time and sales. And it gives me an audible reading on the time and sales. So I can see whether buy or selling pressure is coming in. So this is essentially time and sales right here. But I'm not reading the numbers. It's doing the math for me. And it's telling me that abnormal selling pressure is coming in and how strong it is. And then it gives me a noise as well. So I don't even have to look at it. I can hear it. And JP says, don't go. I mean, that's the crux of the whole thing. JP says, don't go broke on the way. Right? Most traders wash out because new traders come in with first unrealistic expectations. Right? They think they're going to make all this money and they really don't know anything. And the truth is there's a steep learning curve. There's a lot to learn. It's not easy. I grabbed a short here.
Al Arabia, citing US Vice President Vance, says Trump.
See if we can get more downside here. Let's go. What was the news that caused that candle? That's the 16. So yeah, most new traders, wash out because they come out aggressive. They don't think they think they're different than anybody else and how they'll get it quickly where everybody else failed. And the truth is everybody struggles to get it in the beginning. That's the reality. You'll get a couple of outliers and anomalies, people who are successful out of the gate, but they are the exception. They are not the norm. Most people, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of commitment and dedication to the craft. There's a lot to learn, and a lot of it only comes from experience. Time in front of the monitor, trading, watching, and experiencing the market. And I'm not talking about like 4 weeks. I'm talking about years. And that's the reality. That's the reality most people won't tell you. And like I say, it doesn't sell discords, it doesn't sell books, it doesn't sell anything, but that is the reality of trading. So he could either lie to you and tell you what you want to hear, or you could hear the truth. So I'm in this short from 103. Would like to take it to VWAP here. Right above it. Nice trade so far. I'm going to put my stop at break even and see if I can get a runner out of this one. At least down to VWAP.
On the land says the US, you have agreed on a July 9th deadline.
Looks like it's probably just going to stop me out. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm up about $500 in my cash account.
Deadline was a preset deadline by the US and EU on their trade talks and tariff negotiations. Do already have that slated in the calendar for again July 9th.
Struggling at point of control here. Doesn't stop me out yet. Looks like it wants to, though. Take my profits on this. All right. I'll be right back.
Von der Leyen says the EU has a trade surplus with the US, and that could last.
Oh, man. Always does that. I have a limit order down here at VWAP. I don't know. Thank you, Yoga. Yeah, the initial balance is very powerful. I have it right here. We literally went to it to the tick. Awesome. Good job, Yoga. That's a great trade. Today, after the stream, I'm going to be doing a interview session with one of our students and members, Kobe. Pulled out about 30K out of top one futures. We're going to talk about how he did it, how he turned the corner, learning the VWAP Wave system, and how he was able to pull out all that money. So it should be cool. I'll put it on the YouTube this weekend. On his phone, of all things. Right? So annoying. Anytime I trade on my phone, usually I pay for it in not a good way. Robin asks, I have 50K. I have 150K XFAs times 5. Looks weak.
PM Stelmer says the US is not seeking an ownership change of British Steel.
Back to VWAP. I hate that, JP. The worst. Where was your top profit target? I guess is the question. I usually front run, so I don't make as much on the trade, but it usually gets filled, or I try to always make sure it gets filled. All right, watching the cumulative delta here. Maybe we'll take a little bit of a long. We did hold VWAP here. Come on. Dude, it went to it twice. Unbelievable. Right, almost 600 bucks in this account. I like this trade. I don't like it anymore. I feel like I'm forcing trades now because I missed the good ones. See, that's a little bit of tilt sneaking in, guys. I had great ideas, missed a couple of my trades that I really liked. Good trade ideas I had. Now I'm just taking trades because that's not a good way to run things. So I'm just gonna take a step back. We have a bit of a VWAP pinch going on here. 2278. Oh man. So my recommendation, JP, is to put it a little above VWAP, not below it.
So just keeping an eye on the president's roll call today. So there is
It's called front running. You always want to be a little ahead of your level because people are front running levels. They're waiting to get to VWAP so much, in fact, that they're buying ahead of it because they're anticipating a lot of buyers to step in.
Unsure of his whereabouts or movements during the day's day. So let's keep that in
You
mind.
want to get ahead of all the buyers. So you don't always get the best price, but you're guaranteed more of a fill. Man, I had the idea again.
In 10 minutes time now, that's 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. ECB Centino gives a speech on inflation in Milan. EC President von der Leyen on Trump's comments about trade talks says negotiations are complex, but we are advancing.
Yeah, IB bid has been strong today, huh? I like another leg down into this zone. 20, the 70s, maybe 60s. But I don't know. The flush of VWAP might cause this to go lower to lower bands, so we'll see. ES is already trading below VWAP. Oops. I had a lot of great trade ideas on this. I just, bungled these. That's all right. Let's see, where am I? Yoga, you're welcome. Edward said, will it be done in the free chat? I don't know what I said that made you say that. Will what be done in the free chat? I'm sorry, I forgot what I was talking about.
To Al Hadath on Israeli media, the army will complete the mission in Iran within 2 weeks at most.
Upper band. That's the better short location. Right back to VWAP and point of control.
In 5 minutes time now, at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time, ECB Santino due to be giving a speech on inflation in Milan.
The book is entitled VWAP Wave System. Very simple. Yeah, I have taken a lot of wins today. Today was a good day. I traded well today. Let's see. Show you guys the cover of the book. It's the cover. It'll be on Amazon here in the next couple of days. 134 pages, so it's not like a huge read. It's not like a textbook. It reads more like a story with a lot of great information. The 4 core setups, and I go into real deep the edge on the VWAP wave system and why it's important for a trader to find consistency and profitability using a discretionary system versus a completely rule-based rigid system. So it goes into a lot of that. It's 134 pages, 13 chapters. For those of you on YouTube, can't see it. It's the book coming out here in a couple days. Really excited about it. I've actually gotten a couple of requests for signed copies, which, you know, it's very flattering, to be honest. Maybe I will be a big famous trader, educator one day. Maybe I won't. I just enjoy what I do. That's not really the goal. But I guess it could happen. The next Al Brooks or Ross Cameron. Brian Shannon. If you want to hear something really cool, I get companies that reach out to me a lot, obviously. And this one said, "Yeah, we asked ChatGPT to create us a list of the top 10 or 20, I forget what they said, up and coming futures traders on YouTube and social media." And apparently ChatGPT listed me on that list, which I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool." Ah, I do. You know what, Chuck? Ross actually gave me one of his funky shirts. Hold on. A gift from Ross Cameron himself. The ugliest shirt literally ever. I've never worn it, and nor will I ever. But it was a gift from Ross. Ross Cameron gave me this up in Massachusetts when I went to visit him. It's super ugly. Only Ross can pull that shit off. It's something, all right. I'm gonna have a pink one. He has one with avocados on it. Apparently, it's like this like artist, this well-known artist from where he lives, and he buys like all her shit. It's little pastas. It's like bow tie pastas and rotinis and shells and zitis. I can't believe anybody macaronis. I can't believe anybody would wear this. I can't believe people actually buy this. But I'm also not a hippie. I'm also not into the Grateful Dead, so I will never be like Ross Cameron. But he's a freaking unbelievable day trader. That guy is not a joke. He is the real deal. Yeah. I mean, he's a really likable guy. I mean, he really is nice. He's got a good heart. He's a family man. I mean, he's a good dude. He really is. No, not even a little bit. I mean, we're right back up to our short point, right? This is the spot where we've been shorting all morning. This time it went to the tick. All right. I'm about $900 in my cash account, guys. I'm going to close this here. I'm done trading for the day. Grabbed a short there from that location. Already closed it. I'm in good shape. So, does anybody have any questions before I wrap up today? I have tried his 10-second scalping method. His 10-second, what is it called? Micro pullback? Yeah, it's very difficult. You gotta have some real cojones to trade like that too. Those small caps, man.
Treasury Secretary Better serving as a Trump stand-in G7 after the president's.
And you can't get stuck holding the bag. You gotta cut that sucker because it can never come back. It can go straight down into a hole. Screw that. Nice sell-off there, guys. Like I said, that was our sell point. To the tick again. Nice, JP. All right, guys. Anybody have any questions before I wrap up here today? I think I double booked myself today, actually. I talked about doing the Q&A today at 12:30, but I have an interview appointment. Let me see if he's still available. Bro, it's probably fake. If you have to wonder whether it's fake, it's probably fake. I don't message anybody on Discord. I don't ask for anything. I'll never friend you or message you. Those are all scammers. All of them. Every single one of them. Everything I do here is completely passive, right? So like you guys join, you talk, you see me in the group, but I'm not like individually messaging people trying to sell them shit. Like that is not part of this whatsoever. There's thousands of people in that free Discord. I'm not messaging every single one of them, or every single new one. We've gotten like 100 people in the last 48 hours. Like I'm just not doing that. So those are all scammers. You can report them, block them, whatever you need to do. You know, JP, you laugh, but I get a lot of messages of people begging for money. A lot. It's quite sad. Some people tell me how desperate a situation they're in, and they're literally begging for money. It's awful. So Bob asks, how exactly did I draw the gray box at the top? So this one was based on the higher time frame. All right, let's get rid of this. So essentially, I did a composite volume profile from yesterday and today. And this gray box was this low volume area, low volume node on the composite between these two distributions. So that's my gray box, and it held 3 times. And that's why, in a lot of ways, guys, like this system will always be a discretionary system. And that's where the edge lies. Right? People, want like this mechanical rule-based system. And the truth is, that the market's always changing. So what might work one day won't work the next. The beauty in a discretionary system is you adapt with the market conditions, right? I can analyze with context my tools, my auction lenses, the volume profile, the VWAP, higher time frame, lower time frames, and in a lot of ways, the algo or algos or rule-based system, whatever you want to call it, can't do that, or at least the ones we have access to. Maybe like at a hedge fund where you have like quants and scientists and physicists developing these things, maybe they can do that. I can't do that. All right. And if I could do that, I probably wouldn't sell it. So, be very leery and wary of all that algo BS. Okay. The beauty of what we have access to as retail traders is our discretion, is our ability to sit and watch the charts and develop good trade ideas, to manage our risk, to be able to take good trades based on what's happening, and the ability to pivot at any time. Right? Algos can't do that. So there is an edge in discretion. And in fact, the first half of the book is all about that concept. How the bridge between a rule-based system and a discretionary system is very powerful. Right, Chuck, exactly, right? There's more context to be seen. There's more happening than just this, if this, then that, and I've literally I wrote a couple of chapters on the subject. So I'm excited for you guys to read the book because it's a lot, it's a lot for me to kind of go into. The book does a really good job of going over those concepts. Thank you, Logger. Appreciate it, brother. Really appreciate it. If you're wondering, a couple of our early members got advanced copies of the book to give me feedback. So, Bob, this is a range profile, right? And I pick the anchor point to the end point.
Trump says we now have.
So this is in the drawing tools. Another way you can do it is the anchored profile, which is here.
Control over the skies in Iran.
But that drops it all the way on the left side of the screen. So it's the same thing. You can see it over here.
The American-made, conceived, and manufactured.
All right, so you can do it either way. The problem with the range is you have to keep expanding it. Anchored will keep all new data involved in it. So this is the fixed range profile. And the anchored profile. These are in the drawing tools, Bob. The fixed range profile is nice because it keeps it kind of with the data. The problem with the ranged profile is that it won't take in new data, so you have to keep dragging it, right? But it kind of keeps it in a nice block, which is really nice. So for quick viewing, that's a great way of doing it. The other way is the anchored profile, right? This will take in all new data without you having to draw it, but it drops it over here on the left-hand side of the screen. You could also move it so it drops it on the right, if that's what you prefer. So, and that's how we build the composite profile. And what I encourage you, Bob, if you haven't watched this video yet, one second. Let's go here, this one. If you haven't watched that video yet, that'll go over the creating composite charts and volume profiles and levels there. Oh, Edward, the interview with Kobe. Yeah, it'll be on the YouTube channel. He's asking if the interview with Kobe will be in the free chat. Yeah, I'll put it in free chat, and it will also be public on YouTube. So, Robin said, I wouldn't take any longs at the top of a range because we've been in a balanced market pretty much all night and all day, right? So this is where fade value area extremes pays, right? So that's a big part of the system. I encourage you to, if you haven't been through the course yet, you can get the course in the free trial. And here's a link to the free trial. You can go through the entire course for free. I don't charge for the course. You can get a free trial for a week, not pay anything, go through the entire course and cancel it. I don't care. Yeah, most people, Robin, get chopped up in balanced markets if you're not taking the right type of trades. Right? You're looking for that move or the breakout, and that's not what we're getting. We're in a balanced market. So it's really important to get that context down. We go for the bigger moves and the breakouts. We're in price discovery, and we fade value area extremes when we're in a balanced market. Okay, guys, I'm going to get ready for my interview with Kobe. If that's it for the questions. If anybody has any other questions, I'm going to take them now because I'm not going to be able to do the Q&A because I'm going to be doing the interview. Happy to take any more questions if anybody has them. I'll give it another minute or two here, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a good day. Good trading today. Good opportunities. Good trades. Patience paid. Yeah, unfortunately, Logger, I double booked myself. I have the interview at 12:30. I'd entertain doing it tomorrow if you guys still want to do it. I don't think I have anything on the schedule for tomorrow. I'm not trying to rob you guys of a Q&A. That's part of the package. So I want to make sure everybody's gets what they paid for, you know? Well, let's plan on doing it tomorrow, guys. I'll happily stick around after stream tomorrow, see if anybody wants to do the Q&A. How's that sound?
Chancellor Merz says the US is weighing participation in Iran strikes, according to Politico. The decision will probably be made in the near future, the Chancellor said.
All right, guys, logging off here. I'll be putting my profits in the profit section. I encourage you guys to do the same. You can also put your charts and trade review if you have any questions about your trades, about why this trade didn't work, or if I had the wrong idea. As a premium member, you're always welcome to post your trades in the trade recap, and I will review them. So I encourage you to do so. If you're going to continue trading, you can move on over to the trading lounge. That's another feature of the premium where you guys can trade together. You have access to your microphones. You have access to sharing your screens. You can trade with your fellow VWAP Wave system traders. And if you're going to continue trading, manage your risk, stay sharp, and we'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. And if anybody needs anything, tag me in the Discord. I'll be around. All right, have a great day.